Hi and welcome to Venezuela Insider News. Today is November 1st of 2025, so we're gonna update everything going on with the situation in Venezuela right now. And let's start with some economic news. Bloomberg reported oil prices increases just yesterday amid a potential situation. In Venezuela, the prices rose 1.3%, so not a big deal. Right now, the WTI, the West Texas, is at 61 barrels, $61 per barrel, I'm sorry, and the Brent is 64.77. So no big deal on that regard. But we had a lot of news just on this Halloween evening. The Wall Street Journal, we already covered this. They mentioned that the targets for the US military inside Venezuela have been already been defined. Mostly, according to the journal, drug, drug trafficking places inside the country, according to the journal. But also, this is the most interesting thing. Venezuelan regime infrastructure, according to the journal. Yeah, now the most interesting thing came from the Miami Herald, that according to the Herald, sources from the Herald, Trump has given the green light already in order to strike inside Venezuela. So a little bit more on that later. And also, the New York Post mentions that the United States military is prepared to strike military facilities within Venezuela. However, yesterday on the afternoon, when Trump was on the Air Force One, when asked about striking inside Venezuela, Trump flat out said no, he completely denied it. So now that begs the question if Trump is, doing the taco thing, Trump always chickens out, or is this particular PSYOP strategy that Trump likes to play, with the tariffs, also did it with Iran, and at the end of the day, he struck on Iranian soil. So we have to see about it. Of course, we are gonna report it as well. Also, Marco Rubio on Twitter, he backlashed this particular piece on the Herald, saying that the sources are wrong, regarding striking inside Venezuela. Now, on the other side, Maduro is pledging military support to, the Axis, Russia, China, and Iran. For now, the support of those nations to Maduro is mostly symbolic and diplomatic and yada yada yada. However, this week just arrived in Venezuela a Wagner Group cargo plane that we don't know what it got, but like like a friend on Twitter said, when the Wagner Group is involved, they are not party balloons. So we have to see about it. Still, I don't know what's the content of that particular cargo plane. I don't think it's something bigger than an air carrier that right now is heading towards Venezuelan shore. The whole package should arrive like in 10 days, something like that. So, still waiting about it. However, this Halloween night has been very active, tricks and treats in Venezuela. First, the US issued a NOTAM notification to the Puerto Rico authorities in order to use a small portion of the Puerto Rican airspace, close to Puerto Rico, for unknown operations. Remember, Puerto Rico is just several hundreds of miles away to the Venezuelan shore. Basically, like we discussed previously, the new Diego Garcia on the Caribbean. So we have to just wait and see what is going on. We have to go this play by play. Another news that we got this time from Trinidad and Tobago, that, in case you don't know, Trinidad and Tobago is very, very close, just a few miles off the Venezuelan shore on the eastern side, and they put in state of alert their military, that is small, it's a small island, in case, some actions are taken. So we have to see about it. And lastly, in order to close this segment of the news, Polymarket, Polymarket, this particular very famous political prediction site, uh, very entertaining, I have to say. Well, they are giving 68% probability of military engagement in Venezuela by the end of this month and 74% probability by the end of December. And also, they mentioned they have a bet, probability, a bet for Maduro being ousted by the end of the year, and that probability jumped this week from 13% to 26%. Now, that probability, this particular ongoing bet, has been higher early this year, so that doesn't mean much, but since if you guys, some of you, I know already love Polymarket. Actually, I learned about Polymarket thanks to one of my clients, so shout out to you, you know who you are. And well, that's all that we have for today. Remember, we're gonna do these quick daily segments of news in order to keep checking everything, how is evolving, and cleaning out all of the fake news. Thank you.